Well, hello again, and welcome to another version of Internet Traffic Kings. I'm the Big Fat Boo, John Fondy, broadcasting to you on the campus of UNLV in Las Vegas. And you can see behind me that there ain't a whole lot going on here. So certainly glad that we've got this information that we're going to give for you. We got some superstars of the industry that we're going to be talking to every week. And as we've done in the previous weeks, we've kind of brought the A-team out there as well. And as we bring on every week, I want to let you guys know that if you've got questions for our experts, or you'd like to be have something included in the show, you can go to the internettraffickings.com and you could leave us a message there, and we'll include that in there. And if we use your question on the air, then we'll give you one of Bennett Kelly's Rolls Royces. So it works out for everyone.
That's it.
And so also, you can see us on iTunes and Spotify. You can also give us the rating. So give us a star rating on there as well. So, and basically,
You mean a 5-star rating, John? Only a 5-star rating, nothing else.
And if you're not going to rate us good, well, then hey, use a different name. But so let do that, but share it with your friends. Share it with your friends, and particularly there's some good information that basically is on there. And again, like I said, we've got a great show that's coming out here. We're going to talk about large-scale media buying as well. We're going to talk about how you can cope with the virus that's going around, because we've determined before that we're going to be here for a while. So our show's going to get even more interesting. We're going to have more information and some more great guests. And speaking of great guests, it gives me great pleasure to welcome to our show the Click Father, our executive producer, Kevin DeFincenzi. Kevin,
Hey, John. I'm doing well, John. Doing well. Surviving. It's a crazy time we live in, but you just got to keep evolving, and it's like no unprecedented time, as they say, but just keep improving yourself. That's it.
Kevin, having been a newscaster for so many years, I'm really amazed right now of how much news is out there and how much of it is so incorrect, and it's just driving me crazy that we're seeing these two sides to every story. And I don't care if it's bad information. I just want the right information.
Yeah, but it's all sensationalism, right? A lot of it is just the media just blowing things out of proportion. And that's why I choose not to watch the news, nor that I ever, because it's a bunch of BS, right? And it's just scare tactics. And if you do look into how they're tabulating the deaths in New York, for argument's sake, it's anybody that wasn't tested, but that may have had COVID is now a COVID death. And, all these different agendas are being pushed. So you really can't trust what's happening out there. You really can't. So I just tend not to even look at it.
And the shameful thing about it is there no shame? In fact, at this one point, we do need to come together a little bit and not just turn this into a battle. We've got loved ones and friends and all of our business.
But for those media companies, it's a ratings game, right? I think I don't want to misquote, but a major network, I know who it is, but I'm not going to say who it is. A major network, they were caught using footage from Italy and saying it was New York hospitals, and nothing happened.
Yeah.
Nothing happened.
It's
a lot of scare tactics for sure.
It is, and
don't watch the news. You can do better things to enrich us than news. That's my advice.
Well, so adaptability, I think, is the key here. And in our industry, it seems like we're finding, I mean, you guys are some of the smartest guys in the world, figuring out different ways to spin on a dime and monetize something and have a good time while you're doing it. What's new on the horizon for your businesses?
We're just adapting, John. We're constantly redoing what we do. And, as I said in previous episodes, we're taking all the learnings that we've had for the past 22 years and applying them now. So I'm involved in industries that I haven't been involved in years, but I have the know-how, I have the resources, I have the contacts. I'm putting them all back together. So I'm just relying on what I know, and then where I can provide the value. And then comes the money right after that.
Are there some things that you're now shying away from where a year ago you would been?
Oh, absolutely. No, I mean, the market's changed. So consumers aren't buying big ticket items right now unless it's gym equipment. And you just flip the market. It's what consumers are looking for. It's not nowhere near where it was 2 months ago even. forget about a year, 2 months. It changes very quickly.
Well,
And
and
I mean, look at but then you have new opportunities, right? Like we've got Darren back on with an update today and taking a real party and turning it into a virtual trade show. I mean, things like that those are going to be the success stories that come out of this. The people that take something and create something else out of it. That's the exciting part.
well, it is, and I think we're seeing a lot of adaptability in there, and we're seeing a lot of entertainment go by the way of. I mean, don't you wish we would have bought some stock in Zoom?
Yeah, for sure.
Up and stuff like that. But yeah, you're absolutely right, and I think the community is paving the way for you as well. So let's go ahead now and bring on for a quick update as we kind of do every week. Darren Blatt, better known as D dollar sign or D Money. It's really exciting. It seems like every week that we talk with you, Darren, you come up with something really brand new, and you've got some great announcements that you're coming up with as well. And we want to give out all of that information about what you're going to do. So we'll make sure we send some time for that. So let's go ahead and bring on D Money. Tell us a little bit more of what's going on, and you're rocking it out there, aren't you?
Yeah, it's funny the things that you end up doing through a crisis, right? I mean, Kevin was saying how he's tapping into industries that he hasn't done in years, and I'm tapping into parts of my brain that haven't been functioning in years. So I feel you, Kevin, on that one. So on that note, we all have one thing in common really is that we do the trade shows, and when the trade shows stop, it feels like our business models are stopping as well. And if you rely on affiliates or you rely on other people in the industry, what do? I mean, we can't get in front of people. You can't travel to a show. You can't make the bonds that you would normally make. So, I started working on this, right away, like 6 weeks ago. I was thinking, well, let's be realistic. There's a virus going on, and until there's a vaccine, we need to figure out another way to do it. So I've just kind of taken parts of the internet that are out there. You mentioned Zoom. We're going to incorporate Zoom with every trade show booth, and you can have an audience of up to 300 people at your booth. And in addition to the booths, we're going to have
Darren,
speakers.
can you take a step back for a second, just because I don't think John explained exactly what you're doing. So it's a virtual trade show, right? digitalvirtualexpo.com.
Yeah,
right?
It feels like just 2 minutes ago we were talking about.
No, I know. I just want to make sure that the users have.
No, I know the internet's a fast place.
Yeah.
So basically it's a virtual trade show. It's called virtualdigitalexpo.com. You can sign up.
I screwed it up. I said digital virtual.
I got both. It forwards. So if you got
go.
that mixed up, we got both of them.
Perfect.
Digital marketers, man.
That's it.
Yes. So you can sign up for free. Right now we're running a promotion still for a few days left that you can get it half off of a booth. It's only $500 for a booth. You don't have to fly out to the other side of the world.
That's
you
crazy.
don't have to cover your expenses. You don't have to worry about getting a virus. And we're going to put you back in business where we'll have a big audience. You know that we have reach to about probably a couple 100,000 digital marketers between our media partners and my own database. So on a minimal projection, I would hope that we can get at least 10,000 people to attend, which would be a huge trade show for our industry.
Absolutely.
So now imagine
that's talking ad tech, 2006.
Yeah, right.
I don't think we haven't seen 10,000 people, at least the numbers that I've seen at any trade show in the past 10 years.
Right. And what I'm going to do is, in my own database, we have like over 50,000 people that have signed up in the past that actually filled out profiles with me. We're going to set them all up with accounts. So overnight, they can click to activate their account, add a password. So just on our database alone, I know we're going to bring the audience. But what I need to do is send the message to companies that we're bringing an audience. You need to be a part of this because
absolutely, for sure.
You can do a demonstration at your booth. You can set a time that you want to be a speaker. So something that we've included recently is that, everybody's like, I want to speak, but you could really only do so many speakers on a speaking day. Well, how about this? Everybody who gets a booth can be a speaker. You just let us know what time you want to speak from your booth.
Oh, that's excellent. Wow.
Yeah, that way we'll support you with the trade show. We'll list everybody who's speaking, what time they're going to speak. And now you're a speaker. Poof, just like that. We'll do the little LeBron James.
Wow.
Right? So, but you know, we didn't stop there. We wanted to add the interaction part. We want to add the fun. Because when I go to a trade show, I have a lot of fun. You know, I want to party. I want to
You throw the
network.
parties. Of course you have fun.
Yeah, I have fun. You know, we're hanging out with Snoop Dogg. Well, listen, we don't have to stop. You know, we could still hang out with all these celebrities and our friends. You know, we just signed Mixmaster Mike of the Beastie Boys.
Awesome.
He's also in Cypress Hill now and did a huge 420 concert. He's going to do a DJ set live for our audience, live.
That's
and
great.
We'll actually have a Zoom dance floor. So if you want to dance, like I know people like Butch out there, he's hilarious. He loves to dance. We're going to have their cams on, and we can watch you dance in your living room, and you can hit each other up. You can network. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's great.
We didn't stop there
great
either,
concept.
Kevin. We're adding more bells and whistles.
Nice.
You could do speed networking now. It's like a matchmaking service where if you want to, it's optional. You could fill out a form of all the things you're offering and all the things you're looking for, and we're going to match you up with people. So it's much more than you would do at a trade show, because at a trade show, you wouldn't have that ability and you wouldn't be able to hit somebody up in real time and do a deal. But with our platform, you can. So we're going to do that. We're going to have parties. We have a networking lounge. We have a coffee shop. We have a bar. We have a nightclub. We're recreating the whole thing. You can even drop your business card off at a booth. You could do a contest,
absolutely amazing
giveaway, everything. It's the whole answer.
Amazing. All right. Well, until you launch, Darren, we got to have you on every week for a couple minutes just to see where you're, because I'm really excited to see where this goes. And congratulations. Great concept.
Let's give out that info on how to get in touch with you one more time before we.
Sure. Yeah, you could go right now to Virtual Digital Expo, and if you get it wrong, you go to Digital Virtual Expo. We own them both, but I recommend Virtual Digital Expo. It looks way better. Go there on the first try, sign up. It's free. You can get your booth online. You could even get a table. Get this one. You can get a table at the party. How is that possible, you might ask? Well, when you're in the party, there's actually a venue with tables, and you'll see a sponsor's logo. It could be Peter.
Yeah, that's great. It's branding. That's awesome.
At his table, and you click to go in, and now you're at his table of 300 people, up to 300 people, chatting with that room, watching Mixmaster Mike if you want, or we're going to try to get Snoop Dogg too. And, you know, we've had talks with Gary Vee already to be a speaker. So we're going to blow this thing up for you guys.
Wow. Nice.
Good for you, and thank you so much for that quick ID as well. And by the way, Kevin can attest to the fact that I can dance, can't I, Kevin?
Yeah, you can, but the last time I posted your video up, you told me, Kevin, my family has access to my Facebook, and pull that down right away. But Darren, I will send you the video with John's permission. I can tell you he can do the milkshake really, really well.
We could patch it in live during the party. Like we're doing the Affy
that would
Awards.
be amazing.
During the Affy Awards, we'll have a little video of him.
Perfect.
That's going to end up costing me, I think. So anyway,
there you go.
Catch up to you.
Thanks, Darren. Love to hear your updates.
I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to head off to
hear your
another meeting.
updates. Yeah, for sure.
Good to see you guys.
All right.
Congratulations again.
So like I said, we've got some of the most talented and the most exciting and entertaining guests that come on board here. And today is, of course, not going to be any exception. We're going to talk a little bit about mastering large-scale media buying. And we're going to do this with a new friend of mine. Nice to meet you. And we're talking, of course, to Peter Day. Peter, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John. Great meeting you. Kevin, thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. Pleasure.
Anyway, let's get your take on this a little bit. What do you think about this country? When are we going to get back to normal? When are we going to reopen again?
I don't know, but from my perspective, a little bit about myself, I have been mostly a media buyer. So I've been on the traffic side generating leads on Facebook, Taboola, native ads. And I agree with Kevin because he said it in the early part, adaptation. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, probably between even last month and this month, there's been like a 50% hit in revenue. But what's good is that we are seeing things come back. I got word. Yeah, absolutely. Like, so even 2 minutes ago, I'm getting an insurance deal back. It was mostly for us in the auto space, like the car dealerships, just took like a massive hit. Like most car dealerships paused. But the good news is I think for our industry, things are coming back. About 5 days ago, I got back a lot of allocation from a major car loan advertiser. In the last 2 days, we've gotten multiple advertisers back for car insurance. And I think that's just good signs that things
Well,
are,
it's also
yeah.
that people have to change, right, Peter? So people have to, even the auto dealerships that had enough foot traffic, now they have to go strictly online. So a lot of opportunities are going to open that way once they, as long as they have the guts to be able to go online. A lot of these guys are afraid because it's the same old. But once they understand that, hey, if I go online, I change the way I'm doing business, there's still business to be had, especially in what I'll call essentials, in auto insurance, in term life insurance, in automobile purchases. I mean, these are all things that consumers are still going to buy. They're still going to do.
Yeah, and
with gas prices being so cheap, I think auto sales are actually going to go up after this is over.
Yeah, remember, I mean, we are actually a very good business. I mean, we are fortunate to be we're in a business where we could virtually just sell anything on the internet.
That's what I say.
We're in a super good business. Like right now, in this point of time, we're way up, definitely in that top 5%, like best business models for what's happening here. Because it's like, if you look at resorts and casinos and theme parks, they're going negative every month right now, while a bunch of us and are still like actually making money. You know what I mean?
Well,
like we're making.
I say that every week, Peter. Just as far as the opportunity to be able to create from your laptop or from your living room, to be able to create the opportunity. Think about AMC theaters, right? They're burning 25 or 30 million a week in operations right now. Even when they reopen, who's going to go to the movies? I mean, you're so used to streaming at home and all the creature comforts. Who's going to actually go out to a movie theater and expose themselves to potentially 100, 150 other people? It's not going to happen, not in the near future. So those guys have a really long road.
I think it will be gradual. Take a year, at least a year or two, for it to remotely look normal. I'm not an expert in the health
24-hour,
field.
24-hour fitness, I heard, is declaring bankruptcy. I mean, a lot of these gyms too, everybody's outfitting their homes. So, it's world 2.0, as they say. It's totally different. It's going to be a different world, 100%.
I think we've got to adapt. I mean, I tested various things. Like for a period of time, I was even selling like food delivery stuff on Facebook. Like we connected with like Nutrisystem and Blue Apron and stuff. And I mean, it honestly didn't knock it out of the ballpark like I thought it would, but it sort of worked. And it's like, I think Kevin is on the right track here. Just be creative, think outside of the box. Don't be set on promoting like the things you've always promoted. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get out of your comfort zone, and if you have any past experience, go back to it. Like you had said, Peter, you're going back to things that you've done years ago, and same thing with me. I mean, there's some things 10 years ago worked for me, and then other opportunities were greater at that time, so I put them on the side. And now I'm going back on. Well, wait, I left a bunch of money on the floor. Let me go back and and look at this again, with fresh eyes. And that's we're fortunate we can do that. A lot of people can't.
And just like what I've been telling people too, we have a little bit of a training side of our business. So my brother and I have been affiliate marketers. We also teach people how to affiliate marketing stuff. And what we've been telling our students is just, we actually were saying it since January, because we saw a concern coming with the thing. Like, even if you go back to our YouTube channel in like January, way before it hit, we were like concerned. So I was talking about how we were concerned about losing allocations, people stopping buying leads, and 80% or something of those things ended up happening for a period of time. But what I'm telling people is that it's a crank up biz dev like more than ever. If you were doing 70% biz dev in the past, like now's the time to crank up that biz dev, because like let's say this auto insurance carrier is buying like 200 leads a day. Well, it's like more biz dev. You can get this one to buy 500 leads a day. You can get this one that's going to buy 1,000. It's like now is the time to crank up that biz dev heavily, so you have a lot of options. It's just kind of been telling people.
Well, you're absolutely right. At least right now we've got nothing but time on our hands. And so if you look introspectively, and people will crawl in their hole and they'll go, woe is me and stuff like that. And now's the time to really jump on it and find out now you can do what it is that you really want to do. You've got some passion out there as well. Or like you say, take one of your classes or hire Kevin for his expertise as well and learn something new, because you're absolutely right. The world as we know it it's going to change. And I say start preparing for it now for when it does change, and anticipate that a little bit and be ready for it as well.
Well, that's the thing. No, it's going to change. It's not going to be the way it was. Like I spoke to my daughter the other day and said, "Oh, Dad, I just can't wait till it gets back to normal." There is no normal. It's never going to get back to where it was, right? Not for a long, long time. So I think that, be prepared for what the new normal looks like, and have yourself where you're ready to take that step, and not think like, oh, well, it's, why can't they do the same things I was doing before? It's not going to be like that. Not at all.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Peter, tell us how our audience can get in touch with you.
Okay, so we have a website, optimizetoconvert.com. Optimizetoconvert.com, and it's just a blog. We put out a lot of training, and all they need to do is sign our free newsletter, and then they can get on our email list, and we drop out trainings and it's there.
Great. Peter, what advice would you give somebody new that wanted to get into the industry? If, now obviously with all the furloughs and everything, people are looking for different things to do to make money. Where would they go? I mean, I'm seeing a big uptick on sites like flippa.com, buying and selling domains. Like, they're even saying buy your next job. And those are their higher end sites where, people can invest 6 figures to buy a website, which to me won't work, because if they don't understand the nuances of the business, they're going to go in, spend $100,000 for a site that's working and not understand how to run that business. So where would you start if somebody is driven, is determined, would put the time in? Where do they start?
So there's a lot of I'm a huge fan of lead generation. I mean, if people are watching this and they are going to choose something, people are wanting to buy leads, like auto insurance buyers. They're buying leads for $10 a lead. They're buying leads for $8 a lead. Some of them are buying for like $15 a lead. It's like the demand for buying leads has not disappeared.
Right.
And maybe it never will. It never will. Maybe it's lowered. Maybe it's disappeared almost in certain industries. But it's so if people can just do a basic business like we've been doing of just generating leads, whether it's generating them on Facebook, generating them on native ads or Google or email, and then sending those leads to lead generation offers, it's a very simple way to make money online. And you can connect with a bunch of affiliate networks. They'll pay you weekly commissions, and it's a very proven business model.
Yeah, like X7 on Leaf.com.
Consumer
I put the plug in since you mentioned it.
Sure. Well, thank you so much. Stick around, if you will, for a little bit. We're going to bring you back on as we kind of close things out and talk to you a little bit about some things that are going on in the future. Well, thanks so much, Peter, for being with us here. And now we're going to switch gears a little bit. Now we're going to head down to Santa Monica, where we're going to talk to the big dog. Of course, we're talking about Bennett Kelly. Bennett, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, as usual.
Anyway, so let's give us some updates. There's some lawsuits that are floating around out there, and particularly some big ones out there. Fill us in a little bit and fill our viewers a little bit of what you're seeing out there.
Sure, and this is happening in all the sports teams. As you notice, there has been a baseball game, a basketball game, or any sport event recently, and Major League Baseball and Ticketmaster decided that they were going to hold on to the money and not refund anything, waiting to see what happened. It's a strategic move. Better to have the money and have people complain than give it out and not know what's coming next, I think was their strategy. But you're seeing this not just with baseball, it's an issue with trade shows and any other thing that's really that you may have purchased in the future. And a lot of these contracts, you sign up, and that has the clauses at the bottom that no one tends to read, that lawyers like ourselves draft. And if they have force majeure or limit the ability of refunds and limits their liability. And so a lot of companies are relying on these provisions to not grant refunds based on these provisions that you really haven't focused on. But this, the class action lawsuit against Major League Baseball and Ticketmaster is basically saying that that's a deceptive practice. One, you're not offering the product, so why should you have to keep the money? And two, it's unjust enrichment. You're basically having money for nothing. You're not giving me anything
Right.
in
In your
return.
coffers, yeah.
Yeah. And so based on those theories that this is somehow a deceptive trade practice, there's a class action lawsuit that was just filed against Ticketmaster, Major League Baseball, along those theories, relying not on the terms of the contract, but under state consumer remedies laws, that this is a deceptive trade practice. And it's possible, I don't know, but the FTC or even maybe state attorney generals may at some point decide to jump in, because it will be a consumer issue.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's going to happen. Even you mentioned trade shows, Ben, and I think that LeadsCon for one, they waited until the last minute saying they're not canceling, and they're holding everybody's money. Same thing with Traffic and Conversion Summit and so many other ones. There's the right thing to do, and then there's the legal thing that you can do.
Right.
So I understand legally you can hold the money, but is it the right thing to do? And I'm curious how even like Tony Robbins, I bought my daughter Tony Robbins a week before they shut down to one of the seminars. What are they going to do? I mean, the right thing to do is to refund people's money. Or if it's me, refund people's money and give them some content on top of that so that you keep the consumer, right? Keep the consumer happy. But if you're going to hide behind terms, then that's not somebody like, again, I'll go back to LeadsCon. I'm boycotting LeadsCon from now on just for the way they handle it. They handle it absolutely horribly. Forcing people, even when half the advertisers pulled out, forcing people saying, nope, the show's still going on, it's in the light of a crisis where you'll see somebody's true, or a business's true, true form. And that's something that, and move to the bigger companies like the Ticketmasters. I mean, it's not classy, and it's not the right thing to do.
But here's where it comes to basically a brand question. So LeadsCon, this is hurting its brand. Look at exactly what you said.
Absolutely.
People may think twice about going to LeadsCon. Ticketmaster, they've always been unpopular for a lot of reasons. Some of them fair, some of them not actually. They're the middlemen, and some of the charges they add to you aren't going to them. They're going to the venues or other people, but they get blamed for it. But you're going to go to Ticketmaster if they're selling, Dodger, Rams, whoever tickets, because that's who has the tickets. And so in some ways, their brand is somewhat immune to an extent to consumer being pissed off, whereas other companies aren't. And so I guess that's something, if you're one of those companies deciding, do I refund the money? Do an analysis, talk to your marketing people about how strong your brand is and what type of.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a trickle-down effect, though, because if they're not refunding people, even things like StubHub and some of the secondary markets are going to be hit by it. Think about season tickets. I mean, I luckily almost bought into a suite at Raiders Stadium in Vegas, one of the VVIP suites, right? So a very huge investment. And I modeled all the numbers, and it actually looked decent. Thank goodness I didn't do it, because I would have been, call it 150,000 in on seats that are going to be very, very hard to sell at the beginning, because you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah. The world is definitely changing. So yeah, I'm very happy not to own any season tickets to anything. But I'm going to go back to, it really depends on how people are acting. If you're holding somebody's money, you're right. You're not getting service right now. So why are you holding that money? Like if you were holding it for a period of time, now the event passed, the event's not happening. I think Digital Marketer just said they're doing theirs in December now, but they've been holding my money since last November. Is it really fair they'd be holding my funds for 13 months on an event that probably won't happen in December? Absolutely not.
No. Yeah, that's the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. No. And then how solvent let's talk about the smaller companies like the LeadsCons or any of those guys. How solvent are they? What are they doing with that money? Was that money spent? And will they be able to, will they be able to even give a refund or pull off a trade show? Or do they just take everybody's money and go bankrupt? I mean, that's a real concern,
I think the bankruptcy court's going to be very busy.
Sure, I agree.
And that's going to be maybe that's a future topic, sadly, but
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
you're going to see a big spike.
Oh yeah, no, we're seeing a big spike in bankruptcy leads right now, actually, for the past month and a half. So yeah, I agree.
Well, excellent. This has been so far a great show, and we do want to remind you guys that this particular show is not ad based. It's basically a show that we're doing to provide information at a time like this, and sort of be good stewards of that information, and basically bring on these experts that are taking their valuable time to give us this information, and hopefully you'll find something to do with it. Now, Kevin, if somebody does need some help, your organization can actually walk them through the minefields and the tribulations by hiring your company as well.
Absolutely, John. We do some one-on-one consulting with small and large companies in regards to media buying, deal negotiation, understanding site audits, anything relating to internet marketing. We can be helpful. And what I said on last show, I'll cover to this show. If somebody is in dire need of help because of COVID-19 in regards to pivoting their information, I'll give them my time for free. Because with my experience, I may be able to find a way that they can make money where they just, sometimes you're too close to really see what's happening. And an outside perspective can help you say, hey, here's the path that you should take. So I'll gladly do that. Just send me an email, kevin@xy7.com, kevin@xy7.com.
Okay.
And,
that sounds
absolutely.
Awesome. And of course, this is the segment of where we go on a roundtable with our experts that are on the show. We talk about things that you should know and things that you need to know. So taking that in mind, Peter, kind of give us some of that closing information we need to have.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think the theme of this call has been adaptation. We talked to Darren in the beginning, and he's doing virtual conferences. Kevin's trying things he hasn't tried in 10 years. I've been doing new things. So I think adapt where you have to adapt, be open-minded, stay focused. Don't just read the news for like 2 or 3 hours a day. It might just be bad news anyway. And just stay really focused and adapt here is my final thoughts.
Okay, well, good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show. We'd love to have you back, and as things
Thank you, Peter.
more information.
You're welcome.
And
thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
We'll put this show up, and so you'll be able to.
Oh, and yep, and sorry, and Peter, what was your training site if people wanted to learn more about you?
Optimize2convert.com.
And that's a number 2 or TO?
TO.
Optimize2convert.com. Got it.
Great. Excellent. Again, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Peter.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Bennett, as we're closing out in your world, we got some strange things that are going on out there, and we don't have a lot of answers. But I feel that you've got some insight on where we should go in what we should know and what we need to know.
Sure. This one's actually not legal. It's just kind of an interesting tidbit. There's a Twitter account called Rate My Skype Room. And as we now move into this platform where we're using Zoom and other stuff to communicate, this guy actually grades all these different people who are appearing on network shows and gives them a 1 out of 10 and says what's good or bad about their backgrounds. So, learn from the pros, and it's Rate My Skype Room on Twitter.
So
There you go. Good closing tip, Bennett.
Good. That's good. And tell us how to get in touch with you one more time, Bennett.
Sure. At internetlawcenter.net, you can use to contact us there, or follow us on Twitter at internetlawcent, CENT.
All right. Well, speaking of good sense, we want to now close it out with our executive producer. He happens to be the Click Father, better known as Kevin DiVincenzi. Kevin, some closing thoughts on what we should know and what we need to know.
Yeah, my closing thoughts, John, are just, I thought about this yesterday when I spoke to my 24-year-old daughter. Be grateful in this time. Be grateful for what you have. Yes, you're not going to get everything that you thought you were going to have. You're not going to, she had said, "Oh, Dad, this is my 20s, my supposed to be the most amazing time in my life." And, there's other things you can do. So you can improve yourself. You can do self-learning. You can get in better shape. There's all these different things that you can do that you probably wouldn't have taken the time. As you say, it's a reset on the world right now. It's a reset for people too. I mean, how many people are not going to go back to the work the same way that they did before? Or I spoke to a friend of mine the other day that traveled probably 70% of the time for business. That's not going to happen anymore because now he's been so effective on Zoom, he's going to go to his superiors and say, hey, this has been effective. Why do I need to constantly travel and be away from my family? So that's really the thing is like, be grateful for what you have, be driven. Don't sit in front of a TV, as Peter had said. Don't watch the news all day or binge on Netflix all day. There's things you can do. There's people you can communicate with, that you can link up with, and there's new skills you can learn. I mean, when else did you have the time to learn a skill or a hobby or something that you can do to enrich yourself, enrich your life? So now's the time to do those things. So take it as a gift, not as a punishment. I can't wait until I can go out or what have you. You know what? This is the hand we're dealt. We're in a much better position than most people in regards to, we understand the internet. We're able to communicate with people. We're able to create new businesses, which most people can't. So be grateful for that. That's my closing statement.
Well, thank you for being grateful. Speaking of the hand that been dealt, we're bringing this show to you from the campus of UNLV in Las Vegas, and that background is exactly what it looks like right now. So yeah, reinvent yourself, find something to do, and adapt is what the keyword. We want to remind you that this is a non-advertiser supported show. So if you like what you've seen, you can help us out by going to Spotify and going to iTunes and giving us a 5-star rating, and pass this podcast on to your friends. So you guys will have something to do every week with new information. You can see some of our past shows as well. And we actually, have a great time. We give out some great information. We have a good time when we're doing it. We really feel that we're going to give you value for being with us and taking your valuable time. And we are, as a team, grateful to have you as part of our show. So for the Internet Marketing Kings, Internet Traffic Kings, and all the marketers that are out there, I want to let you know that I'm the Big Fabu. It's been a great show. Thank you, Abrasco, back spinning on the ones and twos and keeping us busy out there as well. So we will see you on Internet Traffic Kings on the next show. Thank you very much.